Hey guys, this is Cooper Judge. He's been nice enough to show me around at First National Real Estate in Australia, and I feel like he'd be a great guy to have on the pod, so here he is.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, Dylan. It's been awesome to tour you around today and show you the difference between an American realtor, as they say, and what we call a real estate agent. I think you've sort of started to gather and see the difference between how realtors over in the US exist and, you know, what I do as a residential real estate agent here in Australia, land down under.
It's way different in unique way, like its own way.
What do you think has been the biggest difference from the day that we've had today?
From, like, in a sense of...
Like differences between what your realtors do and I guess what our day has looked like today.
Well, quite honestly, I'm not 100% sure what realtors do back in the States, but I know, I'd say it's somewhat similar, but I feel as though it's more office based, but
yeah.
I don't want to, that's not like 100%, like that's, you know what I mean? You have the freedom to come in and out, work from home.
What do you think? What has been your favorite part of today?
Seeing the houses was really cool. And all new. Well, not all new, but
yeah,
they were just cool. I've always liked seeing the houses. There was this, I don't know. It's just like tiny houses.
Yep.
Not like trailer. Well, I guess it was like mobile homes, but
like the little pop-up sort of
not
homes.
They were like, you know what a mobile home trailer is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that, but as nice as could be. And there was a little spot where we used to drive by and we would just go in and look around. And so I've always liked looking around, and just because it's different. Like, you know what I mean? You don't get the opportunity to explore somebody's house fully. So it's kind of cool to just nose around. And
have a look and see all the different house designs.
Especially the houses like you were showing me. I'm not going to get to go in there. Like, I can't just knock on a door and say, hey, your house looks really cool from the outside.
Yeah, do you mind if I take a tour?
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. So that part was really cool. And I don't know, tell me, I mean, we've talked a lot today, but
yes.
What else can you tell me?
About real estate?
About real estate, about, I don't know, your journey's been how many years? From when you started to where you are now?
I started in February of 2021 and we're July 2026, so call it 5 and a bit years.
And did you know out of high school?
No.
No?
Like so many other real estate agents, I fell into this. It's actually funny when I tell the story, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer.
What's that?
I wanted to build rocket ships.
Huh.
That was my dream in school.
Continue, like not just 6th grade, and then 7th it would change. It was like
it was sort of what I worked out at the end. Like I was always good at maths. I was always good at speaking. I was always good at science. And I figured the best way that I would be able to put my love of maths and science and numbers. I was never a really social kid growing up. I always preferred my own company, reading a book or playing a puzzle game or doing something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be my best path forward as I went through school, growing up, experiencing, you know, social issues and things like that. It taught me a lot about myself and the world.
Sure.
And that sort of pushed me further into, you know, wanting to be an aeronautical engineer and play with spaceships like what Elon Musk does. But going through the process, and I don't know what it's like for you guys, I really became disenchanted with the school system because I realised that your intelligence, like it's very hard to put intelligence on a piece of paper. Yeah. And I know our schooling system is designed around, they feed you a piece of content, they ask you to study it, and then they test you on it. That's not smarts to me, at least.
It's like puking it up.
That's it. It's a game of how well can you remember and regurgitate what you've been told. And that's like playing one of those memory games when you're a kid. Like you'd have 6 cards with 3 different symbols on them, and you'd have to match them up. We called it memory here as a kid, but that was literally what it was. And I went, that's not learning. That's not, or it is learning, but it's not intelligence. Like I was always intelligent and I could learn really well, but I would never recycle it the way that the teachers wanted me to. Sure. And I thought, am I going to subject myself? And again, I don't know how it works completely in the States, but here you go through the process called the HSC, the Higher School Certificate, and you get an ATAR, which is basically a rank amongst every other kid in the state.
So we got like class ranks, like this many kids, this is where you're at.
Well, it's across the whole state. So it's a number from 0, or not 0, they don't give zeros. Anything below 30 is called a mystery mark. And it goes all the way up to 99.95, which means you're in the top 0.5 percentile of people in the state in terms of your test score.
So what's your number?
I never got one because I didn't do an ATAR pathway because my thought process was...
So you have the choice?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to go down that path. And like I had mates in year 10 who were, because that's when we start looking at higher education,
sure,
going to uni, college, that whole shebang. And like I had mates who went through course books and went, right, this is where I want to be in 20 years. I'm going to work my way backwards. This is the course I've got to do. These are the marks I've got to get. And they've gone out and done it. Like my whole cohort has graduated from uni, college, that whole bit. They're now out in the workforce. And my mate who knew what he wanted to do, phenomenal. Kicked ass at it. But then I had other high school friends who were flipping through course books like a Walmart catalog going, oh, $80,000 double degree, yeah, might do that. Oh, $120,000 major, might do that. And I was like, I'm not going to go and get into 6 figures worth of debt over something that I'm not stupidly passionate about.
Yeah.
So I chose to use the last 18 months of my high schooling career basically to go and hang around in random parking lots with a bunch of my mates, driving around, doing dumb stuff, working part-time jobs, trying to build my experience. I'm very fortunate to have an auntie in the real estate industry who, when I was 16, pulled me out of school for a week. I went and did my entry-level certification. And then as soon as I finished high school, my mum was like, right, you can't keep, part-time managing a restaurant. You need to go out there and actually find something. So they encouraged me to apply for just work experience with a couple of places.
Yeah.
And I went and sat with 2 business owners. One of them was in this office in particular where we are now, and the other one was at an office over in Campbelltown. My current boss, Andrew, at the time said to me, no mate, I don't do work experience. I don't have the time or the resources or the capacity for it. Sorry, not sorry. The one over at Campbelltown loved me, loved how I spoke, made me all these big promises and said, I don't want to do work experience, I want to give you a job. Which I thought, oh wow, this is great. I'm 17. This is my first, real full-time work. I went out, bought a bunch of uniforms, got super excited. It took him 2 months to get me an employment contract. So I'm kind of just sitting there twiddling my thumbs. My parents took that as a bad sign. I didn't know any better. I was like, no, she'll be right. They're just busy.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there 3 months. I wanted to do sales. They put me in property management, doing ingoing and outgoing inspections, routine inspections, chasing up people who were late on rent. And that is what you think it is. I was literally given a paper list of people to ring and say, guys, why haven't you paid your rent yet? Putting people on payment plans, getting them to come into the office. Like I'm 17, sitting down with 30 or 40-year-olds who haven't paid their rent, getting them to commit to payment plans. But long story short, the business owner was a dick. I didn't like it, so I left. I then needed to work out, did I want to keep doing it or not? I'd loved the little bit of sales that I'd glimpsed, so I ended up being given an opportunity down the road to go in for an interview. It was a 2-hour interview. He gave me the job on the spot.
Nice, dude.
2 days later, I had an employment contract sitting in my inbox. Everything moved really, really quickly. I went away on holidays with my best mate for a month. When I got back, I started there as a sales associate, literally running around, getting coffee for my boss, delivering flyers, knocking on doors, asking people if they wanted to sell.
Is door knocking scary for you?
It was at first. My first time door knocking, I did it with the sales manager,
Yeah.
and he was he was terrible at it. I think we did that twice together. And then after that, I remember being so scared of door knocking. I told my boss I was going door knocking, and I did go door knocking, but I took the long way to go door knocking. I remember nearly crying in my car from the stress and the anxiety of it. Because like I'd only just turned 18 at the time. Like I'm new to being an adult, I'm new to being in the workforce, and the idea of approaching someone at their front door and going, "Hi, do you want to sell?" It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And it took me so many goes to get over that fear. And once I got over that fear and just started talking to people and not having an angle, I actually got really good at it. And I was able to communicate really well with someone on the front door, ascertain, you know, whether they had any plans of going anywhere. If they did, start building a good relationship. But if they didn't, create a line that if you're not going now, but you're going in 5 years, here's my card. I'm young. I'll still be here in 5 years. Call me. And I'm now at that point in my career where those people from 5 years ago are calling me, going, "Cooper, you don't remember me. You knocked on my door 3 years ago. I'm looking at selling. I really liked you back then. Are you still in the game? What's the go?" And I'm like, "Yes, absolutely. When can I come and see you and sit down and talk about how I can help?" And that's was sort of my real estate journey. I bounced around between 2 other offices, landed up where I am now. I went through a lot in those in-between years, both developmentally, becoming an adult. Because you graduate high school and you're, you know, for us in year 12, you're the biggest fish in a very small pond. And then once you get picked out of that pond and dropped into the big bad world, you realise there's much other bigger fish out there.
And big fish, dude.
100%. Like you walk around school and you're like, right, I'm the pimp, I'm the biggest guy here. You know, we're the oldest, we know what's going on, we've got life figured out. And then you drop into this big bad world and it's like, there is no more school anymore. It's like playing a game of bowling and having the safety lanes dropped on either side. And it's like, shit, if I screw up here, I could end up in the gutter.
You get exposed to 35-year-old drunks.
You get exposed to everything.
Everything.
And it's just, yeah, it was a really big lesson and I learned so many lessons. But I'm here now doing what I love and I get to do it on my own terms, which is even better. That I was, you know, forced to work my way there, and that's kind of put me here sitting with you enjoying a podcast.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. It's not something I ever would have imagined myself doing in my wildest dreams, but now, and I've had other people ask me, what would you do? It's like, I don't know, I'd probably be homeless for a little while I worked out what else I would do outside of this.
Yeah.
Because I get paid to talk shit and have fun with people, and that's, so many sales guys go in with an angle or something like, I just enjoy helping people.
So you like, and that's what you did originally. You kind of went in with an angle, so to speak, and then you, I guess now, have you removed the angle? Now it's just, you're just Cooper.
I wouldn't say I went in with I think I went in thinking that I knew more than I did. Mm-hmm. And going through the process and actually being exposed to adults and dealing with people in different circumstances. I remember it vividly. The first ever training session I went to at this company, that like I call it my first real estate job, even though it was technically my second. They had a training day before I officially started. And I'm the young guy, like they told me what to wear, what time to get there. I've rocked up, walked into the room, the trainer starts talking, and being the young guy, he wanted to put me on the spot. And he goes, right, when you're walking into an owner's house to pitch for business, how are you walking in there? And I'm sitting there, you know, 18-year-old me going, I'm gonna walk in being really enthusiastic. And this sales guy turns around and goes, okay, that's great. Mr. and Mrs. Smith have just lost both of their parents in a tragic car accident. You've walked into their parents' house and you're bouncing off the walls while they're crying. Do you think they're gonna give you the business? And that just, I was like, shit. I don't know what, like this is the first time in my life that I'm actually out of my depth. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
And I had to get rid of that know-it-all attitude and become a learn-it-all. And I think that was probably the biggest shift in my mindset that I'd ever had to make was, you know, you don't know everything. There are people out there in this industry, in this world who are better than you. You need to sit down, shut up and learn from them. You can't pretend like you know everything like you used to in high school.
Fair enough. Yeah. You just got to continue learning every day. So.
And that was probably the biggest adjustment I had to make, was becoming a learn-it-all instead of a know-it-all. And that, I think that's what's taken me to where I am and taught me a lot of the skills, but just growing and maturing. Like at 23, I have a vastly different outlook to what I did 5 years ago, back when I was 18. And I thought, you know, going out and seeing girls and, you know, doing dumb stuff with your mates was the pinnacle of life. And it's now, you know, having had the experiences I've had, and, you know, I get to interact with a lot of different people in a lot of different stages of life, people who are bringing new life into the world, having their first or second child, going into a bigger home, meeting people who have lost a family member, and I have to sell that family member's house where there's memories and things attached, walking into a divorce situation where people
you just get plugged into people's lives for a little bit.
Literally, and it's like in sales, especially in real estate, I'm walking into someone's life at a fixed point in their life. Like my life is that. It's walking into certain moments in people's life and playing a role in it. And like, I've got a family at the moment who tried to sell back in 4 years ago, back in 2022, had a terrible experience. And they were really skeptical going through the process of putting their house on the market, because they thought it was going to be like that. And I can sit there and tell them it's not going to be, but the best way that I can, you know, show them it's not going to be like that is by actually not making it like that and showing them and demonstrating that with my actions and with the way that I treat them. And the way that I handle things throughout the process, because this is just a job for me. But for them, it's their life, it's their home. They've been there for 14 years. They're trying to go into something that little bit bigger, that little bit newer.
It's a big step.
It's a massive step, and it's like a lot of people out there, a lot of agents out there don't appreciate the magnitude of that. They just see the dollar sign at the end of the rainbow, and their first thought is, how quickly can I get this done? And then how quickly can I get another one? And it's like, that's not the way you should be when you're handling one of the biggest moments in someone's life.
Sure. Yeah. You got me thinking, like, eventually I'll need a house, but you're in Aussie. Do they do stuff over, like, online? Like, I just call you and I say, hey, Coops, I'm, like, not physically leave Australia, not physically leave the United States, and you help me find a house. Is that a thing?
Internationally, not commonly. If I was me here in Australia, and let's say I had $2 million in the bank, right? And you're living in Texas, and I wanted a holiday house in Texas, I could ring you, because you know the Texas market, and say, Dylan, old buddy, old pal, looking for a house in Texas. What do you got on the books? You could send me photos, send me listings online, and I could do the exact same for you, but I couldn't help you find a house in your country.
Fair enough.
Like, and you couldn't ring me and say, Cooper, right, I'm living in Minnesota right now, I want to buy here, can you help me? Like, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, I could help you buy here in Australia if you said, Coops, I've got $1 million laying around, I want to invest it somewhere. I really liked, you know, my time over in Australia. I'd love to have a place over there. Can you help me find something? Absolutely. And that's not a service that I would charge for. I'd do that for you as a mate because I love you. But it's certainly something that I could do, and there are professionals within the real estate industry who do that for international clients. But it's like, I would help you with the country that I live in. I couldn't help you with your country that I don't live in, where I'm not licensed.
Looking at it now, it's kind of a stupid, but, you know, it came to my head, thought I'd ask.
No, I don't think it's a stupid question at all, because, like, there's a lot of people who, and our office was dealing with one lately, a lot of their funds were from overseas. They'd only just moved over here. They were buying as a foreign national. They're not Australian nationals, but they want to buy a property to live in. And there's a lot of strict criteria in and around that, but it was my first time hearing of that. And they came to us, they knew what area they wanted to be in. We had something on the books, showed them through, and we're now going through the process of trying to actively help them purchase that. So it's certainly something that does happen, but especially in our market where it's a lot of mum and dad sort of real estate, it's not as common. If you go into the city, you're dealing with millionaires, billionaires, it's pretty common in there that someone will be sitting up in their penthouse in LA going, oh yeah, I actually really like that place in Australia. And then they'll click on it and, you know, or they'll have an Australian contact who, you know, reaches out and says, hey, you inquired, you want to buy something locally, I'm here to help you, I'll charge you, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand for it. And then they'll go through the process of helping this young couple from LA buy an Australian holiday house.
Yeah, that's the goal. When we went to Bondi, how much are we talking there, man?
Depends. An apartment would probably run you up 3 mil. A house would probably run you up closer to 10, maybe 12.
And
There's
some of
nicer
those-
spots than Bondi though.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
Cheaper,
houses. Where?
Cheaper? Like
Oh no, I'm talking more expensive. Like Australian real estate goes up to like 120 million.
Where?
We had a penthouse smack bang in the middle of the city in Crown Casino, if you know the Crown.
Was that the shiny? It's only tall one there, right?
It is one of the really tall ones. It's sort of standing on its own.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The penthouse there, I think that sold for about 120 million, maybe 6 or 8 months ago. And that was a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, 4-car parking space apartment. And that was massive. That was on the market for like 2 years.
What did it start at? Or do you not know?
150, I think.
Is that the one? Isn't it across from the amusement park? Like it's here, then there's water.
Yeah. But it overlooks all of Sydney. And like
Yeah, true. That's
it's
a
a
good
serviced
spot.
apartment. So you literally leave your stuff in the laundry basket, they'll wash it, iron it, hang it back up for you, they'll come in, clean your house. Like as a part of living in the building, you get that service. You want to order something from the restaurant downstairs, you can. They'll literally bring it up to you like you would as if you were in a hotel.
Dang.
They're the perks of being all rich and powerful and spending $120 million on an apartment.
Does it say who bought it? Or they
No,
just keep it?
no. I would love to know who bought it so I can be friends with them and get a tour.
That would be sweet. So is something like that online for everybody to?
Yeah. It's online for everyone to look at, but to actually walk in the front door,
Right.
you have to show proof of funds. Like you have to prove that you have the capacity to buy it. Otherwise, they'd have every man and his dog like me wanting to go for a walk through the front door. And lots of times, and I've even seen it out in our area where there was a big estate that was going for like 9 million. And I remember speaking to the agent who was looking after it, and he said there were a couple of clients that he actually had to sign NDAs for. Because they were, you know, politicians or sports stars or whatever, looking for an out-of-the-way retreat. When they don't have to be in the city, they come out here where it's a little bit quieter, a little bit less congested, and just get to spend a bit of time privately with their family without reporters banging on the
Sure.
front door asking them for a life update.
Do you know? Yeah. How are we looking?
We got about 3 minutes.
Okay. Wow.
Make it 5.
You let me know.
No,
man. It's
we're
a
all
hard-
right.
It's a hard cutoff. That's fine.
No, it's fine.
Do you know Lake Minnetonka in Minnesota?
No.
Dude, those are like. Do I have my phone? Let me show you if I may.
Yeah.
Somehow this would be insane. It's like Minnetonka. It's not gonna load, is it? Nope. Look at these things.
Yeah, wow.
I think this was the most expensive one. 55 mil.
Yeah, wow.
That's what the lake is like. No, I think I flew over it when I was flying somewhere.
Yeah,
And
that's
they're
crazy.
They're just pads on this lake. That'd be a fun one to get into.
The funny thing is there's not a lot of that over here. Like a lot of our most expensive real estate is along the eastern seaboard, which is where we are. So Sydney, Victoria and Queensland, but it's all along the water.
So does nothing happen in the west?
It does, but you think about my house, right? We could sell that and probably go and buy something twice as big over in Western Australia, in Perth, for the same amount of money.
Sure. Just
so
not as populated.
yes. So typically in Australia, a lot of our population, is in New South Wales, but it's along the coastline.
Yeah.
So your biggest...
Because you don't have anything in the middle, right?
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and keep this PG. There's not much in there. There's rocks and a couple of
You can let it
natives.
fly, man. It's up to you.
No, there's a couple of rocks and some, like, it's just desert. It's just bush. Like, you've got a lot of the Aboriginal peoples that are in there just sort of moseying around, a couple of crabby towns, bit of mining, but nothing crazy. Most of our population is towards the eastern seaboard, and then you've got a little bit on the western seaboard.
Sure.
And that's about it. And then there's a couple down in South Australia, but it's all around the coastline. Like, that's where the majority of our population sits. So you go into the middle of Australia, there is genuinely nothing there. Like, and if you're trucking from Perth to Sydney, like from Western Australia to us, it's thousands of kilometres. It's like a 3,000 kilometre journey. And sometimes they will drive for 2 straight days and not see a single soul. That's how nuts it is.
So would you go straight through or down under? And
No, you've sort of got to go down. Most people go sort of through South Australia and then come back up, go through the edge of Victoria and then come up into New South Wales. And that's the biggest thing that keeps Australia alive is trucking. And a lot of people don't know that. Everything that we do, eat, it's all trucks. That's one thing that a lot of people don't understand about Australia, is our economy is driven by truckers. People taking stuff from place to... Because you think about it, right? We're not a very population dense country.
Yeah.
We don't have people concentrated as much as somewhere like the US does. So for us, if we get something in at the Port of Sydney, it's then got to be driven to a distribution centre, which might be, 10 or 15 kilometres away. So half that, call that 7 or 8 miles. Then it goes in, gets packed out, shipped up, whatever, and then you've got trucks that are delivering it to supermarkets and doing all that sort of stuff. And if it's only coming in through Sydney and the rest of Australia need it, you've got to put it on trucks up to Queensland, down to Victoria, potentially even over to Perth, because it's probably cheaper to truck it there than what it is to get it there by boat.
Huh?
So rather than having the same ship make different stops and cost a bunch more money, they just load it all off at Sydney or load it all off at Brisbane and then distribute it across the whole country. So when we're getting our expensive vegan fucking avocados flown in because we can't grow them here and they're landing in Queensland, or even if they are grown nationally but they're only in Queensland, we've got to get that shit on trucks. We've got to get it over to Perth. We've got to get it down to Victoria, where they love their fucking avocados.
In Victoria?
In Victoria, yes. That's
How far is that?
I think it's not as far as a drive to Tweed Heads. It's a little bit shorter.
Okay.
But I've done the drive from Sydney down to Melbourne. That is where all of our, I'm going to call them Democrats. That's where all of our Democrats go.
Oh, okay.
All of our soy boy, latte drinking, avocado toast eating guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
So why did you go down?
I actually went down there for a business conference because that's where they decided they wanted to host it.
Oh, nice.
I would have much preferred it to be in Sydney. It wouldn't have taken me 9 hours to get there, driving
Brutal.
myself.
Did they pay for it at least? Gas? Petrol. Excuse me. Sorry.
No, I didn't get petrol money, but I did get a free hotel down there.
Oh.
So that was all right.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to pay for accommodation or like breakfast or anything like that. It was just whatever I wanted to eat for lunch or dinner during the day.
How are we looking, dude? 33. Don't be close on this thing.
Yeah, no,
Let's stop it.
Let's bounce.
All right. Thank you, Cooper.
Thank you very much for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure to tour you around.
Appreciate it.